first speaker is founder of Shift. Shift is a smartphone company, but not any smartphone company, but they produce fair and sustainable smartphones. And our speaker does not only produce them, he not only founded the company and produces the smartphones, but he really very actively involves the clients into the process. So this is a feeling of belonging together by using the same product and really being asked, what do you need next? And involving the clients into this process. And not only that, but he also engages many other things and has a lot of community projects in the area where he lives. He's going to tell us more about it. Here is, and please welcome him with a big applause, Carsten Waldeck.
Shift means change, as you all know, or transformation. And I think we live in one of the biggest times of change ever in human history. And always when there are times of change, we have a very big chance to shape the future, to design what is going to happen. So it's actually a very important time right now. And all of you sitting here have been born into this time. And you are part of the shift. So my brother and me, we live on the countryside, and we started this company. It happened because I had 2 iPhones. I always had Apple products. They both broke and were really expensive and hard to repair. So I thought, this has to be done different. We have to do something here. Otherwise, there will be so much electronic waste on the planet. This is the area where we come from, so we love nature. I've been living in big cities before, but then I returned back to this area because I found most important value for me is not driving a big car or having money on my bank account. It is having time. Time with people that I love, time for things that really move me, so for the purpose of things. And this is the core of what has grown from Shift. So this is our campus from the top. And the main goal of what we want to do is to do as much good as we can and as little harm as possible on the way. And that's not just the mission statement. This is the decision-making for every decision we take. We will ask ourselves, can we do more good with this or less harm? If yes, we go in this direction, and if not, we don't do it. So basically, we not just do the phone, we also do many other products. I just go faster over it. Basically, more than 100 products we already do right now, and mainly we do the products that you ask us to do. So basically, all the ideas for the products came from the people. Also, it's products that we love, of course. We want to have, and nobody does it for us. So basically, we are a platform for people to empower us to together reach goals that we could not do by ourselves. How does a company then look like if we take this really serious? So we were thinking this in the beginning of our trip. My brother and me, we started it, and actually we didn't find a legal form for what we wanted to do. There was nothing. And so we tried to hack and build something from things that were there, but it's not perfect, but we started like that. Nowadays, have you heard this term, purpose economy? Maybe you can look up this website or write it down, purpose-economy.org. This describes now, after many years, a movement that has grown that is very, very important if we really want to do things together and we really mean it. This is a very big help for everyone who wants to start something or wants to transform into it. It means the company cannot be sold. So no shares can ever go anywhere. The shares are not of value even. So basically, the company belongs to no one. It belongs to itself, or to the planet, or to God, or to us all. That's one fundamental thing, and it can't be changed. Nobody can ever buy it. It can't be changed. It can also not be inherited. So even my children, it's not a family business. They cannot inherit it because you want the purpose to be alive. And if my kids are called for this purpose and they say, well, actually this is the most important thing for me in my life and I want to go on with this work, perfect, I would be so happy if that would happen. But we want that it is be given to our basically children or relatives in purpose or in heart or in mind and not just physical kids. And the other thing in our company is all profits, 100% is being used for the purpose, to do as much good as we can, as little as possible. So no cent has ever been taken out by investors, by anyone owning the company. So more than 300 German companies are already doing purpose economy right now. I don't know if you knew that. There is Ecosia, for example. It is a search engine that plants trees. There's Retail, we work together with them. They do the phone contracts, like the SIM card and stuff. So we build the hardware, and we work together to bring that to people. And they all live this already. And more than 1,000 companies are waiting for this new legal form to come, which is called GmbW. In German, Gesellschaft mit gebundenem Vermögen. That's our heart, that's why we are here. And if you have any thoughts, ideas, wishes, anything in this direction, I'd be so happy to hear from you what we maybe can move together. And we would like to integrate all of you who want to do good things for the planet and as little harm as possible, because not just we want to do it, right? There are many people who want to do it, and we want to share. We are building the potential, but actually the phone has a big potential, I think financially wise too, and all money can go into the good purpose. And you can support us if you want, so I'd be happy to talk to you later.
Before we come to the talk, we do have a second speaker also talking about togetherness. He does not only look on the topic from a practical, but also from a theoretical perspective. He's a design theorist in Milan, and he founded a think tank for social innovation about 15 years back that is active in more than 30 countries today. I'm very happy that you're here. Here is Ezio Manzini.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can we design collaboration? Can we design community? No, we cannot design it directly. But we can do a lot of things, as also the examples has been said. But this has to be very clear. We cannot oblige anybody to collaborate or to be empathic or to have good relationships. What, as our friend said this morning, here is we can create conditions. So I like to start. I have to finish in 5 minutes, but in any case, this was supposed to be the starting. With this image that I like a lot. Those people are communicating, are doing something together. And of course, you cannot oblige, you cannot know what will happen in between the two when they talk each other. Nevertheless, to have the possibility of having this kind of condition in which there is probability. So when we say we create a context that generates possibility and probability that something happens. And what generates this probability? There is a space. For instance, in this case, if the city will not allow people to have music and dance in the street, it will not be possible. So somebody has to generate the physical environment in which, and the physical and the digital environment, in any case, the environment that make it possible. And afterwards, if you have a space, but you don't have the music, it's difficult to dance. And therefore, there is also the music. And I want to underline how different are the two. So we are still talking about what we can do to generate this kind of communication, collaboration, etc. But you can have a kind of engineer that generates the platforms. And afterward, you can have somebody that make happen something strange. Maybe the worldwide flag. as we have heard this morning, the beautiful, fantastic project, or the issue with for the Iranian woman, as we have learned this morning. So something that is more near to kind of artistic intervention. And also this one is definitely needed, because this is the music, this is what starts the conversation. But what really we have to do? Because we can say, okay, we should have this kind of community, but what really is necessary to do it? So the example are try to go a little bit more in depth to understand what really happened, how it happens that people start to collaborate, and what could be this change in the framework that permit to these people to collaborate. And so what I did is to take 3 examples at 3 different scales. One, I say, at the atomic scale, that is the interaction in between 2 people. The example was, let's imagine to put together in the flat an elderly people alone with a big flat and a young person. We have some organization in Italy that do it. Maybe you have everywhere. But to put together an elderly person with a young person is not so easy. So it's not enough to say, okay, look, it's a win-win solution. You have a big home, you need a home, you can go together, it's fantastic, you collaborate. No, because there are, well, you can imagine. Therefore, the platform has to really understand how this preconception happens and how we could manage to avoid and to support if they have problems. So I'm talking about something that happened already many years ago. This is at a very specific individual level, how people can, in some way, open. When you open yourself in the front of the other, it's risky. To take care, it means to have relationships. It's not so obvious. It's risky because you are vulnerable. So you have to create an environment in which this vulnerability is in some way overcome. Because I've not said before, but the characteristic of collaboration by choice is collaboration between people that mainly do not know each other. Because the pre-modern society was collaboration in between people that know each other since generations, for the good and for the bad. In this case, you have to create conditions in which people that do not know each other start to have trust and start to create the conditions. And very important, the condition for exit. Because you have to be sure that if you don't like, you can get out. This is a little trick that we understood today, because we are in a fluid society. You are not taking, okay, you understood. The second level was come from the co-housing stories that evolved toward collaborative living that you have a lot of so in Germany. What does it mean to take 50 families and to help them to become a community that is capable to share some common goods, some common space, some common services? And also in this case, who has tried to do it? In our case, the example that I wanted to show is you start to build the community 1 year before that the people goes in the place. And the team that helped them in creating this community work with them for 1 year after. So there are 2 years of work to create a community. And this is very important because we have to understand that there are something when you build relationships that takes time. Take care, and care means time. And time means something that is not under the umbrella of efficiency. So it cannot be reduced. I am not against efficiency. We have also to be efficient. But our big contradiction, if we really want to work for collaboration, care, empathy, that all these ask for something that it's a time that cannot be reduced. And so the creativity of, for instance, of the company, or the beautiful companies that I presented before, is how you manage to be sufficiently efficient to exist, and at the same time, take the time to build the relationships, because the relationships take time. They ask for care, and care asks for time. And the third one was the same story at the level, I finish, of a part of the city, where there is a relationship not only between individual people, but between collective organizations. And so how we can have collaboration and creation of a community that is three-dimensional, means in between the people, but also in between different levels. And also in this case, there is a lot to be done. Yesterday I was talking, no, this morning I was talking about the role of the public, of the state. For instance, in the Italian story, the one that I know better, now all the story about social innovation is very much concerned with what could be the role of the public, how the public can help. So the old story about the bottom-up and the top-down has to be rethought. What does it mean to create conditions in which the state help in creating this kind of complex collaboration? And this was only to give you a little bit the flavor that when you really start to think what is designed for collaboration, you have to really enter in something that is really complex. And by the way, I'm not a theorist, I am a designer. But no, I like to say it because I'm first, all the stories that I tell are based on some project. But I think, for me, but I think for everybody, if you are here, we should start to be reflexive designers, so be capable to make things happen and continuously take the time. And so again, also for us, to be a reflexive designer means to be effective on one side, but to have the possibility to make a step backward, to look what you're doing, and to continuously exercise this kind of critics. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the two of you. After hearing about community and togetherness and trust, it's really cool to see these very practical examples from your company and your projects. What is the role of a designer in this whole process? So what's the specific maybe quality that makes design, specifically design, a powerful tool for enabling this collaboration? Why should we as designers be part of this, and what could our role be?
You want to start?
Okay. I think designers are designers because they have empathy. Mm-hmm. They have a very sensitive feeling towards people, mm-hmm. towards visual things, mm-hmm. towards many things, actually. This is also why sometimes they're overwhelmed, because they have so many, they can feel so many things and bring it together. But that's also a very big gift. And that's a cool thing about our company. We have no business people. Like, we are designers. We are running the company as designers, so we don't do it the normal way. We just did it the way we would do it as designers. So it just happened, and now we find, oh, this is a good way to do it, actually.
And what is your way? Being empathetic, listening, seeing a lot of things? Which other skills do you have as a designer that you can use to shape this community and togetherness?
I think good designers also have the ability to, everything they take in, they come to creative solutions that maybe not everybody would have seen at that moment. And that's, I think, why it's so important that there are designers, so they can come up with ideas or solutions that most of people, they have wishes, but they don't know how can it be achieved. And I think designers have an ability to come up with very, very complex situations and bring it to a good solution and have clever ideas.
Yeah, I agree. It's very important to understand that we have not only to facilitate something, but we have also to feed the conversation. Feed the conversation, to bring in the conversation some ideas. So when you ask me what the designer did in the case that I was referring to, there was for sure, if you see the picture, it seems that they were doing a role of facilitators, but in reality, they was also bringing ideas, not to impose the idea, but to feed the conversation. After people can say, no, but your idea is, but it makes me think something else. And afterward, we have to be capable to understand. So not having an ego that if you have an idea, this idea should be done, but the idea is something that helps people to have better ideas. But what I want to say is very short, because it was part of my presentation. this is in general for all the designer, but the designer can be very diverse. So when we talk about designing for collaboration or for community, as you want to tell it, it's not a discipline, it's not a specific way of doing design. It's an attitude, it's to recognize that the artifacts that are needed to generate opportunities to collaborate have to be designed. And this could be a digital platform that maybe needs to have some designer that is quasi an engineer, or you can have a designer that makes some action design, some provocation, some performance, very near to be an artist, as we have seen some example also today. And in the middle, you have the one that are capable to listen and to have this dialogical relationship with people, bringing ideas. And so this is, for me, this is very important. It's not what we are talking about, design for whatever the name that we want to give, is not a new discipline. I will never, personally, will never make a new course on this story, because
but it
you
can
could
look
be
very different.
You can be whatever kind of designer. The important thing is that you are a designer, so you add something in terms of taking the responsibility of making some proposal.
Yeah.
And secondly, that you're looking also to the society and the new way of doing. And I want to finish on one point on this. I'm talking about design that could find work in doing that. So one of the points today has not been so much, but somebody correctly referred to Papanek. But if you take the Papanek indication, you can do it only for charity. Because it's somebody that is so good that do something for somebody that do not have the possibility to afford. But design for social innovation, the recreation of social fabric, should become, and is becoming in some way, some activities.
There's one more very important point for me. And that is, I think good designers, they don't give up easily.